Yeah, no, he's going to stand out, no doubt about that. But don't you like being retired when you hear they've done the most Ks they've ever done? It's good to be in the commentary box.
Look down to the North Melbourne forward line. They've gone fairly tall. Petrie, Black and Curry.
North Melbourne kicking to the right of screen here for this NAB Challenge game. And we're underway. Good crowd building. Bell with the first possession for Carlton, dribbling it forward inside the 50. Gibbs, a new look Bryce Gibbs. And he's caught well. McMahon, the tackler, going nowhere. And we'll have a ball up first thing.
Seen a number of players. Lindsay Thomas, after a great season last year, lined up in his customary spot across half forward, pushing right up the ground at the moment.
That was fantastic last year, wasn't it?
Oh, he was. The transformation over that 2-year period from a man that was just devoid of confidence, didn't want to have a shot for goal, to snapping everything.
Cunnington trying to get through some traffic. Now couldn't get hands of ball, so incorrect disposal. It'll be Casey with the free kick, and he plays on quickly. Tui is a long kick. It's just drifted left, and that's the first score of the game to Zach Tui.
Their forward pressure's been good, very good early from Carlton. Just been able to lock that ball forward to centre on a couple of occasions, and that's how you build confidence as a side, especially early on.
Thompson going very wide and just keeping it in the field of play to Hansen. Ferrito, some experience combining down back there for North, but the handball goes astray. Everett was there, picked up well by Yaron, got out of 2 tackles. Wonderful poise under pressure. Gibbs might have got one in the back, and we'll have a throw in.
You mentioned Scotty Thompson, and speaking of players that had great years, I mean, all-Australian full-back, outstanding year, and they just look like they're really starting to have a solid back six there now, and if they could find an extra
just
tall.
One tall.
That's right.
Yeah, one tall. It will really start to develop, and you can compete with the big forwards in the finals.
Have another ball up. Luke McDonald out there wearing number 21. And the clearing kick from Zeeble, but only as far as Dylan Buckley.
Well, Carlton's got their spare up at the stoppage and around the footy at the moment. North Melbourne have got their spare back in Hansen.
Walker, off and going with the bounce and through the middle of the ground. Back to Buckley, who was the player that started by giving it to him. Short, Watson. Swings onto his left boot, keeps it low. It's a beautiful pass. Well-weighted kick. And they've played on quickly.
Well, play it down, Scotty Thompson.
Weight over the top. Curnow waiting for it. By hand, goes back. Ellard, numbers here, Carlton. Casey can straighten up. Gets around one. Kick is pretty good. Comes back on the breeze. They had plenty of possession there, Carlton. Rewarded with a good goal.
Yeah, good reward for effort. They bounce off half back, and their patience to come laterally to start with. Then when it opened up forward, they pushed it forward. It seemed to be a reasonably easy mark in the forward 50, and that may be a result of Scotty Thompson went down and appeared to be holding his ankle, so hopefully it's not a serious injury. He still remains out on the ground and looks like he's up on both feet at the moment, so he should be okay, but that's why the space opened up in the forward 50.
He's well worked. The kick came in low from Watson. Casbolt provided a good lead. So Carlton's forward line functioning quite well at the moment.
Well, that's why Casbolt had that space, because Thompson was down on the ground, so something happened off the ball.
So Carlton away to a good start. Goldstein trying to get over the top of Warnock. And there's a whistle away from the ball. McLean will take the free kick. Quickly to Tui. And long and direct from Carlton. At the back, Wade in good position. Got a fair bit of it. And then off the ground it goes through for a behind.
They're under a fair bit of pressure at the moment. The North Melbourne defenders straight out of the middle once again. Long and direct. It's good footy from Carlton.
And Goldstein again, picking up from where he left off last year. Looks like he's getting his hand to the ball.
Yep.
Very interested to see what stage of this first quarter he pushes forward and pushes Curry up into the ruck.
Harvey drilling it low. Here's Nahas. His first game for North Melbourne. Bastanak. Kick to Thomas, who will take it and go. Lindsay Thomas will think about 9 and decides to take the option towards Black or Petrie. Take your pick. Black around the tackle from McGuinness. Kicks the goal, and North Melbourne have a very good answer. Good transition from them.
It was great coast to coast in that fashion, and Matty, the pleasing thing here was the fact that they were able to get the ball back through a corridor situation, and Nahas was clean on the ground. The kick from Harvey wasn't great. Nahas was able to clean it up and get the ball in the hands of Thomas. He could have released it a little bit earlier. He did wait till he got to 50. It could have worked out in Carlton's favour. They closed North Melbourne up, but in the end, Black was too strong.
I think you were thinking, Jono, he should have teed it up and
it's either have the shot, but he could have pulled the trigger earlier. You saw the distance Black had on his direct opponent. It would have been an easier kick for Thomas to hit.
It just seemed to be the perfect time to go for 9.
Yeah, open goal square.
Oh, yeah.
Just early in the first game, maybe share it around your teammates.
Yeah, so the answering goal.
A few credits.
Gibbs off a step. Casbolt waits underneath it. Lucas over the top. Spills to Everett. Everett into an open goal. And this is a bright start by both teams. And the crowd getting some good entertainment early on.
Well, that's what Andreas Everett can do. We spoke about it in the pre-game, Lynchy, was the fact that he can go up the ground. He can play. He's played on a wing for the first part of this game. Now he's floated forward and is able to read this off the hands after a big pack. And that's what Mick Mould has to be after. Just compete here, compete hard, and then a great read off the pack, great hands, clean, runs into an open goal.
Tell us, if he was going to play in one position only, which doesn't happen, the reality is it doesn't happen, where's his best spot?
I think a wing's his best spot because he's got great running ability as well. He can float back, he's got reasonable courage, reads the flight of the ball quite well, and can push forward and impact a scoreboard at the right time.
At his third club after 79 games, still 24, so still plenty of football ahead of Everett. As Carlton have their second, they're out to an 8-point lead. Well, re-begin things in the middle. Goldstein and Warnock. Won by McLean, though. Tumbles it forward. Everett was there. White, Tippett with him. The ball sort of slides back for Curnow. Did really well to get in, extract it, and give it back to McLean. He gets it forward again. Carlton going really direct here. Well won by Menzel.
Great composure to actually look laterally to start with, and fantastic run from behind for Walker.
His kick, not a good one. Thompson paddles it forward. Tippett, Del Santo, right, they share it around. Ferretto has an option to look ahead, but he can only push it as wide. Warnock and Ferretto want that to go out, and it does.
You look for positional changes in the early parts of these games, and Bootsma's one who's pushed forward, played a bit as a defender last year, but he's now pushed playing as a forward at the moment. So a new challenge for him.
So here's Wood.
Yeah.
Cameron Wood, plucked from nowhere in the draft.
He was, and it just will be interesting how this pans out over the next couple of months with Warnock, and obviously Cruz is still on the sideline, but they seem to have a fairly healthy ruck stocks and let Hampson go, but felt that Wood is a handy backup. Great endorsement from when your coach used to coach you at
Get you back.
So he gets you back, so he must think he can play.
Tippett's little kick up the middle. Jamie McMillan. Back to Tippett. Long kick, one-on-one situation. Well done, Wright. Mitch not happy. And Wright gets back off the mark. Sees a man in the middle and spots Hansen, who can take it and go. A little chip over the top. There's a fair bit of air on it. It'll give time for the Carlton defenders to come in, but the interference from Curnow on Bastanak.
Yeah, just blocked Bastanak's run, so it had to be a little bit more discreet there.
His kick onto the chest of Daniel Wells, and this will test him. He'll have to kick from outside 50.
Well, when they've had their opportunities to score, Lynch, it's coming back through the corridor. Half-back right had the ball, and Hansen, who started the play, worked up through the corridor, and you get the ball back in there, the whole ground opens up, and that's what makes it easier for the forwards to lead into.
Daniel Wells. And decides that he's not going to have a shot because he's got a man called Harvey who's played a little bit of footy.
And draws the ball, doesn't he?
And he's out. He's well within range. It's a tighter angle. A little bit of right to left just outside the right post. Boomer Harvey. 362 AFL games. And starts too far right, it stays there, so just to behind. Margin 7.
I'll just go down to Andrew Swallow and we talk about some of the new players in it, and stats, especially across the back line, don't always mean something, but they can help with confidence. Andrew, Joel Tippett, he's had a hand on the ball a little bit. How significant is his inclusion into the team, and what opportunities does he have?
I suppose it just shows Brad's got a lot of faith in him, and we picked him up as a mature age recruit to come in and try and play a bit of senior footy straight away. Obviously, if we could find another key back, it would be great, and he's got his chance today to play on Jared Waite.
There's Curry, but he's beaten to it by Wood. Sharked by Wells. Floating kick. Watson's got to go back with it. And Watson, he actually judged that pretty well. I think he was knowing that it was going to go out of bounds on the full, but it was touched.
Optimistic appeal from Lindsay Thomas for a blocking free kick. But worth trying when you're 5 metres out from goal, I suppose. Wood
made good position. Stolen by Thomas, who goes to ground. Taken from him by Buckley, who spirals it forward. Goldstein got one high, wins the free kick. Swings on the left and goes out wide, hoping for Gibson. Murphy in trouble.
Strong tackle.
Robinson. Really good tackling by North and Zeeble. And we know he's got real power both through his legs and his upper body.
Just corralled Murphy, then drove him in the tackle.
Yep. Gibson. Oh, pop it to the top of the square. Up and down goes Curry. That's a strong grab. And if he's trying to push forward to that tall ruckman forward that you were talking about, Alistair, that's the way to clunk them.
Well, I was thinking in past years, I mean, they haven't wanted the two big ruckmen, so you don't want two dinosaurs for sure. You need someone that can go forward and take a mark. We know Goldstein can, and if this man can stand up, it'd be a massive asset.
He was good in the practice match last week, but that's not his best kick. That has shaved the post to the right-hand side. Kicked 6 last week, and that is a terrific grab. He's let himself down on the kick. Margin 1 straight goal. Good crowd out there on the outer side here at Eureka Stadium.
Just shows too, if he gets his judgment right, there is no way a defender's going to stop that. That's huge.
Black to right. Thomas!
Oh, got to catch those.
He's getting up and he's just down a bit sore at the moment. He didn't land the way he wanted to. Keep an eye on that.
Holding the shoulder.
Cunnington up high. Harvey got to beat a couple of tall ones, not going to beat Walker. And Thomas just starting to get to his feet now.
Probably head or left shoulder. Came down hard. Bit of altitude sickness too, I would have thought. But that was a big leap.
Come down on what is a terrific surface here at Eureka. And North just starting to show what Carlton started with early, Jono, and their forward pressure, making it hard for Carlton to get out.
Well, they are at the moment there, and that's the thing. Carlton looked like they were going to exit quite easily on that instance, but it's just pressure from behind, closing the space from the front as well.
Ellard keeps it in, but it's going to come back very quickly. Mason Wood dropped what he should have taken, and then clumsy with the handball. Keisha rolls in over the top. Ellard to help out, did well.
Tom Bell down behind play.
He's a bit slow getting up. 2-on-1 here, tip it over the back. Zeeble by hand, good play North. Off to McKenzie. Not a good kick. Wobbles it forward, patted back. Wells steps the tackle. Harvey didn't go the required distance. Petrie round the corner, only as far as Wood. Bell comes from the ground for Carlton to get that looked at. Meantime, again, Carlton have turned it over. Zeeble, McKenzie, back to McDonald. He's a good kick, this young man. Out in front. Gibson went without it. Menzel on the up. Rowe. Got numbers back here, Carlton, but they're being forced back further and further. Walker to Menzel. Now Keisha is going to just have to go short to McLean.
This is the one where North need to hold up. They've compressed the ground well. They're outnumbered down the field.
Yeah, they've done it very well. Pushed their defenders off half-back and pushed across to block their swing up and force Carlton to the other side. So they've got space, but it's how North Melbourne again transitioned to block the other side.
It's a bit better use of the ball. McGuinness in the middle. It's got a player out wide. Lucas down the line. 2-on-1 though for North, and an easy one for Wright to mark. Looks up, sees big Goldstein in the middle.
Andrew, that's why you talk about the power running and the amount of running you do in the pre-season. With today's game, that transition footy, players are expected to get up and down the ground on a constant basis.
Yeah, exactly. You know, the guys have been working really hard. As I suppose talked about at the start of the broadcast, you know, it's probably been the hardest pre-season they've had, and you know, they're going to be blowing today, but it's good to see that they're actually getting up and down the ground.
Probably not the best option there from Mason Wood, looking to thread it through to Nahas. Had to beat a couple of tolls. One was Waite. Here's Buckley. Has it knocked out of his hand by Ferrito. Tui to Waite. And they went out through numbers.
Yeah, they've got to match up forward of the ball here. Cameron Woods on Del Santo if they can get along to him.
And that's where he's headed. The kick was a good one, and Wood realising that.
That's what you'd expect in that situation.
Just pushed away, took the mark, now puts it out in front. Everett, and it's a well-placed kick from Wood, so a couple of recruits combining there for the Blues. Wood to Everett, he's going to line up for his second and Carlton's third.
Yeah, really good build-up. Your ability to haven't been able to find options forward of the ball too easily off half-back on that occasion was identified. They had a mismatch. So great mark from Wood, and I've liked over the years what I see with this young man, Andreas Everett. Looks like he can play.
He can certainly kick the ball a long way. The distance won't be an issue. Just a question of accuracy. Slots it through for his second, enjoying his start at Carlton. And the Blues out to a 2-goal lead.
And he started way back with Jono. Jono was in his 28th year when Andreas Everett started. And tell us about this journey.
Yeah, well, it's been an interesting journey for Andreas. Look, he had an impact with the Bulldogs, no doubt, and I certainly like the way that he went about things. His training effort was always at the highest of standards. Traded to the Sydney Swans. Patrick Vespremi went to the Bulldogs. Probably worked out better for Sydney in that sense, playing 43 games, and then now he's at Carlton, and immediate impact today.
So let's go back to the Bulldogs. How did he end up leaving? Why?
Yeah, it's probably more opportunity than anything else. I think more so because you can see that he has got some class about the way he goes about his footy, but wasn't getting the opportunity at the time, so went to look for bigger and brighter things.
Let's get down to Cameron at ground level.
Thanks, Matty. And just quickly to Andrew, we've watched Daniel Curry now take a big mark. Unfortunately, didn't get the goal. We just saw his ruck work there, great tap ruck. Now, there's a lot of talk about the two ruckmen, with obviously he and Goldstein coming into the side. It means one of your key forwards has to miss out. How important is it to really get him up and going, and how good could he be? And is it something that Lee Tudor's probably brought to the club, knowing that that's how it works so well in Sydney? Yeah,
we'd love to obviously get another ruckman into the game, and Goldie is a terrific ruckman for us. He plays 95% game time, but if we could get Daniel Curry up and about, as we saw, takes a great mark. It just gives Goldie a bit of a break, and allows him to run around and be a bit fresher. So it's a great start from him, and hopefully he can keep going and cement a spot.
Just saw the sliding free kick.
We just saw, I guess that's the evolution of the rule, isn't it? That Petrie had the presence of mind not to go to ground, knowing that he was probably going to get a free kick if the player dives on the ball, which Yaron did.
Scott McMahon did well in that situation as well. He's a little bit nervous with Yaron around.
Why is that?
Yeah.
I thought he might have got a little backhander. You see here, Yaron goes to ground. Petrie stays on his feet.
Take a look there. And you just saw Petrie just kept his feet,
appeals,
waited for it. Tui to run it out for Carlton. Warnock is his target, tight on the boundary line, couldn't complete the mark.
And so with the inclusion of Curry, it's going to impact, certainly, as the guys were saying downstairs, someone like Drew Petrie, not going to be required to go up into the ruck, so that might give you an opportunity to have a little spell at different times. And big forwards don't tend to want to be jumping at centre bounces. The knee normally goes into the ribs.
Well, starting to get hold of it. Bastanak, likewise. Here's McDonald caught on his wrong foot. Black was hoping to get it back towards Zeeble. Good tackle. Spills for Gibbs, but again, North Melbourne holding up with that extra man down back and trying to set up the loose man. McMahon over the top. Ferrito now in some space. Kicks very long indeed, but in fact too long. Rowe spilt it. Tui. Here's kick out wide. Ferrito's there. Punched it back. Bastanak first to it. Trying to get it over towards Gibson. Cripps is there. Their first draft pick from last year. Thompson. Not a good kick. Made it hard. Here's Cripps going to get it on the up from Waite, and he does. Patrick Cripps. Long ball out in front. Once again, loose man back or numbers back for North. Cunnington. And doing it quite easy, but from North's point of view, Carlton are leading on the scoreboard.
I think we're just starting to see a little the first level fatigue come in deep into the first quarter.
Yep. And that's a good kick.
That's a lot better as well. The last one Ferrito kicked in, he kicked it long, and that's where Carlton have had that advantage with a number, or at least first back in terms of the way they're defending at the moment. But once they lower their eyes, they've done it on 3 occasions in this first quarter. They've had a shot at goal every time.
Got over 100 goals between Drew Petrie and Lindsay Thomas last season. 53 and 48 respectively. That's good vision right behind Drew Petrie. He won't make a mistake. He kicks the goal. And North have their second.
Yeah, very nice kick, and as we're saying about big forwards not liking to go into the centre bounces. I remember early days, Jonathan Brown's career. I think it was the ruck for the Brisbane Lions was Lynch and Brown, and so after I blew up after about 2 minutes, I put Brown in. He's gone in, big Stewie Lowe put the knee straight into the ribs, and he called me out again. Yeah, I don't think the big fella enjoyed it. It was
actually a tactic, wasn't it, from yourself and Brownie, that you don't perform well in that position, so you never get asked to go back there again.
If you're going to get to that, that's where Paul Roos had the theory that if you get moved to full back, getting 7 or 8 kicked on you, and you'll never play there again.
So, 5 minutes to go in this first quarter. Non-reduced quarters in this year's NAB Challenge, normal time. So, as Alistair mentioned, fatigue will play a little bit of part in the last couple of minutes, especially in the first game of the year for these players, as Hansen just gives it to Tippett.
And the last couple of days here in Victoria has been very humid conditions.
24 degrees at the start of the game, but humid.
Yeah.
Unusually humid. Attlee.
Good lead.
It was a great lead from Thomas.
Didn't quite finish his work.
He's still going, though. Back to McKenzie.
Big numbers back for the Blues.
Yeah.
And they'll use the spare man laterally now.
Murphy. That spare man is McLean.
But the trade-off is you're outnumbered forward.
Past El Santo, but he might get it back here. Wants the little give from McDonald. Now Harvey will go over the top. Might run. Attlee with pace. Outruns Murphy. Does he get enough on the kick? No, it drops short. And Watson will take it and go. Keisha has Bootsma in the middle with a bit of space. Off the bounce, and Wright will read it better than Warnock, but it's over his head. Warnock still with it. Wright wears him tight. Numbers went out for North. Scotty Thompson will give over the top to Hansen.
Poor kick from Bootsma. Just didn't kick it to the advantage of the big man. And there's a bit of a fracas behind plate. It's a weight division issue there as well.
I think we're going to see a lot of transition footy like that, just backward and forward, because both sides have got their anchor in place. They've got the spare there, and they're not kicking it as well as they'd like at the moment, both teams.
Yeah, he's kicked that out of bounds on the full. He's kicked that a long way.
That's in the car park.
It's in the car park. Cameron?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to. I think it might be a while before we get this ball back too, guys.
You won't be getting down. You won't be getting that back. They'll be down the local pub in the raffle.
Yes.
Andrew, you're sitting here and you're commentating basically as every play goes by. I can see you reaching to get out there, but what are you seeing right now?
Oh, I can see, obviously, our boys have had a fair bit of the footy, but probably just a bit wasteful going forward and bombing it a bit. Both sides are guilty of that, but, you know, they're a bit more composed, lower their eyes a bit and try and hit up. But they're certainly winning enough of the footy at the moment.
Chance here for Carlton. Boundary throw it in their forward pocket.
Just to back that chat up, the disposals, big discrepancy in favour of North Melbourne.
Yep.
And 93-69. So going about it. Well, they're getting their hands on the ball, that's for sure. Sort of massive discrepancy at times last night, especially in the second quarter between Melbourne and Richmond. Melbourne just didn't allow Richmond to handle the ball at all.
Now that's Cripps underneath all of that. And we'll have another ball up.
A good shaking of the head just to give the umpire something to hang his hat on that you're trying to get it out.
Yeah, trying to get down. I'm a first game player. Come on, look after me. Keisha shrugs a tackle. Couldn't get the handball through. Was trying to slice it underneath. So just a stagnant period here at the moment.
Andrew, what are you looking for in these throw-ups here, these boundary throw-ins, I should say, from a defensive point of view?
Oh, we just want to make sure that we get the structure around the footy, so make sure we don't leave any frees and try and get a spare at the back of the stoppage if we can. And, you know, just as the boys just then get a quick kick forward and get another stoppage and go from there.
Well, there is another stoppage.
Goldstein up against Wood on this occasion.
Goldstein winning it down in front, but Carlton with numbers. Gibbs was there. Wells went past him. Couldn't take clean possession. Zeeble trying to burrow out. And again, the umpire fairly busy in this last 3 minutes, whether it be boundary throw-ins or ball-ups.
Gibbs down here, guys, and this is probably you, John, sporting the headband. How would that go down the doggy land, mate?
Oh, look, I think it'd be a fair fashion statement down there. I think a few players these days certainly put the shoelace around the head.
Oh, you didn't let poor Eureka do his handstands.
Yeah, the headband wouldn't have worked its way in either.
Again, plenty of players around the ball.
I'm still getting over your helmet story today, Lynchy. It's one of the great ones of all time.
I just got a whack from Jono. He forgot that I had a shoulder reconstruction not long ago.
Yes.
That hurt.
Now that, it didn't take possession of the ball, so that'll be a free kick for North. It's going to come all the way back to Mackenzie. Now a short little one to McMillan. Trying to spread it wide here, North. Good work by Everett. Got free, recovered quickly, and pops it onto the chest of Waite. And Everett's had a fine first quarter. He's kicked 2 goals himself, and an assist here with Waite, who's well within range.
He's had the 4 disposals so far, but they've all been effective.
It just looks lively, doesn't he? And looks dangerous.
And that's the pleasing aspect too, which will please Mick Malthouse. It's learning a new game style and understanding your teammates and where they're running and how they're using the ball.
Look at this, man. Always a big talking point going into a season.
Waits will kick from inside the 50. It's tight, it's close, and it's just the wrong side of the post.
He's saying it's a goal.
Wants a review.
Can he ask for one?
Well, I think that's what he did. Just ask politely for a review. It's not going to happen.
He can ask for one, Brad.
Yes.
He ain't going to get one. Kick in from Del Santos. We're inside the last minute. It's Carlton up by a goal. They'll be pretty happy with that, given the glut of possession that North Melbourne have had. They're much more effective. And as we go down along, Black with a big jump. Ellard down low, trying to crumb it. So let's take a look. Does he need a review, Brad?
Over the post.
I reckon it's a goal. Or over the post, but it's on the goal side. Might have a valid argument.
Was it reviewable?
Yep, I reckon it was.
It was reviewable. Wood forward. Watson didn't take possession, but still cleared it. Good presence of mind from him and still found the boundary. You wouldn't do that 5 times in a row.
Now, they're important for Watson as well. Those one-on-ones, he needs to consistently win those.
He's been good so far.
He has.
It might go down to Andrew if he's on air at the moment. Just late in quarters, we've seen that a number of times last year, North Melbourne weren't able to defend leads. Do you start rehearsing at this early stage of the season and at quarter time?
Probably not at the moment. No. I think later in games it might be worth it, but at the moment the boys are just trying to play what we've been working on all pre-season.
Yeah.
Quarter time here at Eureka Stadium, a very entertaining first quarter. North Melbourne plenty of the ball, but Carlton have the lead on the scoreboard. 3-3-21, North Melbourne 2-3-15. So it's a goal lead to the Blues here in North Melbourne territory in North Ballarat. As we take a break, the 2013 Grand Final was a beauty. It was great for Hawthorn fans, and the Grand Final recall is not too far away. So here's a bit of a look on Fox Footy.
So, you know, we'll try and arrest that and get back on top.
Thanks for your time, mate. Good luck.
Cheers.
Well, there's a first, isn't it? An AFL captain asking an AFL coach.
Did he seem nervous?
Question.
Asking the coach?
I thought Scotty looked after him pretty well.
It's a high-risk manoeuvre, though.
It is. That's courage.
Very well.
Courage from the skipper.
Just another first here on Fox Footy. So the second quarter's underway in this NAB Challenge game, and Carlton will get the first clearance. Ellard off the left boot. High ball, tough one to mark. Now, Ferrito held his ground in front, and Lucas came over the top and infringed, so Ferrito with the free kick.
Yeah, did really well to protect that drop zone, either take the mark or get the free kick, and so the free kick was the result. Very good. Now, this is the patience Brad Scott was talking about. hold it up, look for the target.
Perfect kick from Del Santo.
Well, it was a perfect kick because if it was spoiled by Bell, it goes over the line. And if it's turned over, you're not opening the corridor up.
Hansen's kick was looking for Black. McGuinness trying to just hack it out of there. And some pressure from North Melbourne. They come in numbers. Zeeble over the top, McMillan underneath, and they get the free kick.
Yeah, one of the North Melbourne players is that Black. He's just jumped straight up out of that stoppage and ran straight off the ground with what appears to be probably a left knee or
left leg, sort
ankle.
Meantime, ball goes in long. Watson with the spoil, trying to find the boundary line, and he does.
Andrew, we see Nick Del Santo get back and then come out and use his elite kicking skills coming out of defence. Is that going to be his major starting point? He did that well with St Kilda. Is that something you'll be looking for as well?
I think we'll probably use Nick in a variety of roles. I think, yeah, having his skill coming out the back line, but, you know, even at times we'll throw him to the midfield and maybe even across half forward. But, yeah, having him, you know, someone who can use the footy really well is, you know, going to be great for us this year.
Tackled by Lucas, ball spills free. McDonald, the 1-2 with Hansen, then off a step. Now Zeeble might come across here. Didn't need to. It was a good mark by Cunnington. Harvey on the burst off the outside of the boot. Clever kick, but Watson he's the premium defender at the moment, doing a really good job out there for the Blues. And the kick was a little bit risky, but Everett, free kick.
They're away here.
Over the top. Ed Curnow has it. And plenty of time. In fact, he could probably go almost all the way. Decides to just lay it off into the path of Menzel on the left boot, tight angle. Gee, that's coast-to-coast footy. That's brilliant stuff, the Blues.
Yeah, spot on, Matty. Very good work. It was probably a little overcooked kick from Harvey that favoured Watson. He took the mark and he's got a raking left boot and sort of put it out towards his teammate, and then they were off. They had runners on the inside as well, weren't required, and the ability to run and bounce caused the overlap, and this is a nice finish from Menzel. That is a really good goal.
He had a look too. He had a look inboard just to see what was about, and then focused in. Good finish.
The token look.
The token look. Yep.
Just so you can hang your hat on that if you miss.
Showed some good signs last year, the young South Australian, Troy Menzel. Can find the goals.
He's got some talent.
Yep.
And another one of those players, Carlton, just hope steps up, plays more game time in the senior team.
Clearance there from Del Santo. Buckley, shouldered arms, Tui, not sure about that kick, but goes the required distance to Watson. Over the back it spills. Chance for Waite. Carlton running hard again. Murphy. One-on-one situation. Casbolt held his ground. Spills here. Gibbs decided to punch it on towards Bell. Hooks it round the corner. Smart. In the end, it was real smart footy from Gibbs. Bell's kicks a goal. 2 in a row, Carlton. And they're up and about.
Really burst out the blocks in this second turn, and a nice goal around the corner there. But that is a nice tap on, just an awareness of where your teammates are. And we know, especially early pre-season, and especially the younger players, not that Gibbs is anywhere near a younger player, but you get tunnel vision, you panic, you have no time, but he really assessed the situation beautifully there and knocked it in front of Tom Bell. Cameron Mooney on the boundary line.
Yeah, Lynchy, I was just thinking about young Menzel before when he kicked that goal, and obviously Eddie Betts leaving to go to Adelaide, and this is a guy that was the #1 goal assist player in the last 5 years in the AFL, so they desperately need to find somebody who can fill that void, and I think Menzel may be that guy. You look at young Bell who can push down there, Garlett obviously, and this guy here, Garrett, so they really need to pick up the slack for a guy like Eddie Betts leaving.
Wonderful acceleration from Yaron, but kick just dropped short and enabled Tippett to stay in front and then clear. So rebound footy coming here for North. Gibson back to Bastanak.
Well, Moons, maybe they can put Menzel on the truck. We walked in and Eddie Betts is still on the Carlton truck, so I'm sure they'll change that very quickly.
So Betts is still on the truck?
He was still on the truck.
They've got to get Betts off.
Betts off.
Yeah, all bets off.
All bets off.
Held it up here well, Carlton, and to get some numbers back, McGuinness with the punch. Falls for Wells, though, just inside the 50, so it won't be 9 points, but it'll be 6 because it's a super finish from Daniel Wells.
10 disposals. It has his class, isn't it? You're right. And look, he's had an impact in this game. He's used the ball quite well going forward. I think it's his work rate. That's been the biggest aspect of his improvement over the last 3 years, Daniel Wells, is the fact that he just works a lot harder now. His running patterns are very good. He cuts the angles. And he's always had this ability, though, to finish with the big goals.
Obviously, he had the hugely disrupted pre-season last year where he couldn't do any of the contact work at all. Had to be very careful, but looks fit. And
yep, he looks good.
Good touch early.
Yep. So no one's touched the footy more than Daniel Wells, and an answering goal from North to get the margin back to 2 after 2 real quick ones from the Blues. Warnock with the punch. Bell came through. Couldn't grab possession. Cripps is underneath that. Warnock over the top. He wants a free kick. He may get it. And he does. That'll be holding the ball. No attempt from Curry.
It was good from Bell. Came off the line from centre forward and just created that contest through the middle of the ground to hold it up.
Big Robbie Warnock. And it's a 2-on-1 situation. Casbolt's got eyes for the footy. Goes straight past Harvey. Again, Bell involved. Slipped out the back, though, for North to Del Santo. Hooks it round and try and find the boundary here. And once again, we see that precision kicking from one of the best kicks in the game, in Nick Del Santo.
And that standing touch finder there. Just found the boundary line nicely.
Warnock just lays it down. He had time to just find Cripps, who chips it up forward. Spoil came from Casbolt, who's just trying to find a man running through. Clearing kick from Scotty Thompson. Wood over his head. And Curnow bangs it back in. A lot of numbers here, over the back for Bell. Got it from Waite. Quick hands Robinson, couldn't find Lucas. North to clean it up. Again, Bell doing a lot of the 1%ers here at the moment. They win back possession, courtesy of that tackle. Everett's got 3, but I give that to an assist to Bell because he did all the hard work. Robertson involved a couple of times, but Everett's 3rd goal.
It was pressure right across, and you're right, even Casbolt, with just a couple, got a hand in there a couple of times, brought the ball to deck and didn't allow the Kangaroos to run away with an easy ball. And look, Andreas Everett's on the end of it here. You can see him, he just ran forward the play there, surrounds the contest, and then Robertson with some strength as well to get the ball going in the favour of the new recruit for the Blues.
Any concerns at ground level, Andrew, as far as the last 5 or 6 minutes?
I think the boys have, they probably haven't shut down the outlets. We got the footy in enough inside 50, but it just keeps coming out there too quickly. So obviously Scotty would have liked to have a look at that at halftime, I reckon.
Inside 50s, 16 apiece.
Okay.
And for this quarter, it's 5-3 in favour of Carlton.
Been efficient, haven't they? They've got absolutely 3 goals in those 5 entries. North trying to do something about it here with Jack Zeeble. Wells kicked that goal. Mark under some pressure, took it well, and now pops it up forward. It's a good kick for Black to run at, and he's going to win the free kick. It's against McInnes. Didn't appear to be a lot in it.
No, there wasn't a lot in it, and I think he'd be a bit disappointed not to have taken the mark, Black.
He had good position.
He had a great position. Just dropped the head a little bit to take the eyes off the ball. Yeah, McInnes a little unlucky there.
Yeah, I thought he was unlucky.
Speaking to the great Carlton forward downstairs before the game, Stephen Kernland, he said the big fellas don't usually catch them this time of year anyway.
So Black, from 30 metres out, shouldn't miss, but does. We talked about the fact that Petrie and Thomas got 100 goals between them last year. Black ended up with 33 himself. It was a good 3-pronged attack, especially late in the season.
Yeah, and put Tarrant in that mix as well. You've got 3 very athletic players to complement Lindsay Thomas at ground level.
Yep. Carlton trying to search for some free man here. Gibbs got it from McLean in turn to Yarran, but it's a poor kick. Now, they should make them pay here, North. Petrie. Goldstein had it. Little chip over the top came from McDonald. He might just run onto it again.
Newcomer for the Kangaroos, Robin Nahas.
Yep. Kicks inside 50, gives the spoil. First to it at ground level, right. Nowhere really to go. Cut off well by Casbolt. It was intended for Petrie, but he got there first. Really open forward line, and that might actually keep rolling towards the boundary line. And it does. Just in front of Stephen Kernahan, who just right down there, not that far away. Cameron.
Andrew, we've spoken a couple of times about how easy it has been coming out of your inside 50, sorry, their rebounds. Is that the trouble sometimes when you do have the three talls down there? You just don't quite get that defensive pressure.
I think we're very lucky, and Drewy and Aaron Black are very agile guys, and they can put a lot of pressure on. It's probably more up the ground, defenders not getting into the right positions, and probably the mids not covering off. So it's probably a combination of those sort of things.
Carlton lead by 17 points. They have the ball inside their forward 50. Wood was trying to find a player at ground level in Ellard. Zeeble working hard. McLean there as well. Bastanek went off the ground. And we've got another boundary throw-in.
Bit of cloud cover out there at the moment, which is quite handy for the players. It was very hot pre-game. Clouds just starting to roll in.
Goldstein won that easy, got rid of Wood, but Walker caught by Goldstein. And Cripps was trying to get it out, but it was taken by Cunnington. Black, McGuinness this time working him out of it. Whoa! Buckley almost lost his head, and he's kicked wide, and it's either going to be a mark or out of bounds.
Play the mark there.
He's played the mark.
Would have thought.
Here's Buckley and Thomas coming in, and
survival mode.
Yes.
And here's the mark from Zeeble, and he's controlled that before he spilled it over the line, so that's fair enough.
McDonald
was
told to go.
Tippett.
And he's a left-footer McDonald, so he just wasn't in the right position to pull the trigger just yet.
And same with Tippett, he was a left footer, so he couldn't turn onto the right. He had to go to transition onto the far side, but just probably first gamer.
Well,
a little nervous to just pull the trigger.
Interesting kick there from Tippett. Zeeble just said, kick it to me. I'm on Cripps. He's played one game. You just kick it to me one-on-one. I'll mark it.
Yeah, it was like the was it Curry and Del Santo? Not Curry. No, it's a Wood and Del Santo. He's the coach's box for the Kangaroos. And Lee Tudor has come in to coach the midfield. I think from the Sydney Swans last year. Josh Drummond, the ex-Brisbane Lion. Gavin Brown, from memory's up there as well.
He is. Shane Watson.
Development coaches, yes. Shane Watson has come out of the under-18 system. Was he with the Eastern Rangers, I think, Jono, from memory? Might be wrong there, but pretty sure he was.
Jono's just left you hanging.
He's been there for a couple of years, though.
Yeah.
Gibbs.
Going through the books in a minute.
Yep, worked hard. Gibson and McDonald take it in. So good pressure from both teams. Good attack on the footy in close. And really, we've had a couple of really good games. The Carlton, Collingwood, Geelong and Melbourne, Richmond. Hawthorn and the Lions, a disappointing one. But this one in the same vein as the other two, but that kick from Robinson is out of bounds on the full.
Yeah, spot on. It's a good contest to better bring out up here to Ballarat. A lot of first-grade players out on display. A couple of the young recruits as well. So the fans here at Ballarat treated to a great spectacle.
You look at North Melbourne too. They're still dominating disposal. They're getting their hands on the footy, but they're turning it over, and that's where Carlton are actually starting to take some sort of control. Their scores from turnovers, 5 goals, 1 now in this game.
Good tackling again from the Blues. Thought they should have won a free kick there, but unfortunately the ball goes up and down and comes down in the hands of Gibson. He pushes them forward quickly. Petrie there, off the ground he goes. Couldn't take it in the air, didn't matter. Big Drewy kicks it off the ground, and that's a needed goal for North, and they're back to within 11.
Yeah, that's another endorsement of how athletic Drew Petrie is. Get the ball into a one-on-one contest. He doesn't always take those one-on-one contested marks, but again, protecting the drop zone is really important. So either take the mark, or if the ball hits the ground, you're favoured. So just was able to turn his opponent around and towed one through from 10 metres out. So you like those as a forward, especially when it's a pretty tight contest in the first practice match for the year.
Many friends and family up here, Drew.
Local?
Yeah, from this part of the world. In fact, I think it was in the seat that Andrew Swallow was in when we were up here, sitting on the boundary for us on
against the Western Bulldogs.
Against the Western Bulldogs. helped us out.
Some super players come from this part of the country.
Spud,
Tony Lockett, to name just a couple.
Away go North again. Just going past Thomas. Buckley trying to use some pace and get it out of there. And there is that pace and a beautiful pickup. And good confidence in his teammates. Knew he could get there because Curnow had run forward. Now, Taylor Hine is on, so substitution has been made. He was one of the subs for North. He's out there. Gibson managed to keep it in and push it forward. Rowe sits for him for Carlton. Well, handball was a tough one for McGuinness, but he was equal to it. Just pushed it away with one hand and then recovered. Kicked it long. Walker, he loves to jump. We know he can get very high. Chance here for the Blues. Robinson, kick inside 50. Bell went without it. Tippett under some pressure here. Released. McDonald showed a bit of poise and then tried to do too much. But they will clear here, North, or have they? Poor kick. Jono was talking about that, some turnovers.
And they had good rebound protection, Carlton, at 60-metre mark, sort of protecting that exit. Here's the big jump from Walker. Didn't get anywhere near it, but nothing wrong with that. NAB challenge game 4. That's all right.
He's back for another chance. Throws it on the left boot. It's a pretty good kick across to Menzel. And we saw him kick a very good goal tight in the left forward pocket. He's on the other side now.
This favours him.
Yeah. He's a left footer, as we know. But this is a wonderful vision from our Fox Footy cameraman.
So,
of what is ahead of Troy Menzel.
3 or 4 steps out to the left, around the body, Jono.
Here he goes.
Wait and see.
We'll get a good shot of this. 2 steps around the corner. Never in doubt. Troy Menzel, he loves it.
Well, good call, Lynchy. You've been in that situation a fair few times yourself, so we're able to pick exactly what Menzel was going to do. But being a left footer on that side of the ground, it was just the perfect kick to perfect, and he did it first class. And that's a great mark as well, going back to the flight. It was a big ball coming in from Walker. So a good clean grab, and the go back and finish was very important.
Just to clarify your comments, I've been in that position a lot. I never stepped out of the left and snapped around with body.
On the other side of the ground, for the right, on your right side.
Took the point. Yeah. But no, really well done there. And modern footballers think their way through that better than ever at the moment. They just know how to take their time, don't get too close to the man on their mark, drag it around the body.
So 2 goals to Menzel, and Everett's got 3, so 5 from Menzel and Everett. So that's pleasing for Carlton. Some new names on the scoreboard.
And Moons North have made a couple of substitutions.
Yeah, Jamie McMillan's come off. He's grabbed the red vest, but I'm sure that'll change after half-time. Taylor Hine, Andrew's come on. Tell us a little bit about where he's going to play today.
Yeah, Taylor will probably play across the half-back line. He's a dour defender, just gets the job done. He might come in and play a bit of a tagging role inside. So, yeah, he's come across from the Gold Coast, 2nd year in A-list.
Just a little bit slow. There's another substitute that's on in Jacobs. He's out there as well. He had a chance, but it was just a little bit slow to get boot to ball. It's an opportunity.
And quite understandably, Brent Harvey wrapped up in cotton wool.
Good tackle from Lindsay Thomas on Everett. Forward pressure inside the forward 50, and here we see Everett trying to do the palm off, and Thomas having nothing to do with it. Got hold of the jumper, dragged him down. Then we just saw a very good goal at one end from Menzel. Tight on the boundary, this a lot further out. But I wouldn't put it past him to match Menzel's effort with a goal here. Thomas, 45 metres, tight angle. Goal umpire didn't move, and a goal to Lindsay Thomas. And great skills on display here at Eureka Stadium, both ends of the ground.
That's an excellent goal from Lindsay Thomas. Yeah. And you talk about went back and put his mindset straight in the fact, no, I'm going to have a shot here. Was able to settle himself down after a big tackle there on Andreas Everett. And to go back with that composure and then pull the trigger like that, that's an excellent goal.
And that's what Brad's got to be looking for, that defensive pressure. I mean, certainly the reward of kicking the goal is important, but the defensive pressure to hold the ball in, if you're continually getting rebounded against, it opens up your defence. So the forwards have a massive defensive role in the game, certainly in modern football.
Margin back to that 11-point. Murphy got a call out wide and gave it towards Gibbs, but he's got to beat 4, and he won't. There's Jacobs. Petrie slides in, couldn't take the mark. Rowe, Everett, who seems to have pushed back. There's the sun just cracking through for the first time this afternoon.
Just a quick update down here, guys. Jacobs come on for North Melbourne as well, with Boomer coming off with a bit of a rest. Brent Harvey, that is. And Cripps and Allard have come off, with Armfield and Graham coming on for their first runs.
Thanks, Cam.
So young Patrick Cripps, the #1 pick for Carlton in the last year's draft, had 6 disposals. Certainly didn't look out of his depth out there.
No, he's a player that can get in and under and find the footy in close, confined spaces.
Dylan Buckley's had a fair impact too in this game, just having a look across some of the stats, and he's had 9 disposals, but it's been his contested possession in around the clearances. He was involved early in the game when the heat was on, which is the pleasing aspect of things when you look to the young players and not just coming on late when the game has opened up. He's been in the heat from the start, and he's had an impact, especially in the absence of Chris Judd. So there may be a spot for someone like Dylan Buckley early in the season.
He's got some go about him.
Got some speed.
Just see there, he's got reasonable size for a young man as well.
Bastanak touched off the boot, and luckily for Carlton it was, although McGuinness seemed to arrive in time. Quick movement here, Carlton. Everett in the back half. It's a good float across by Rowe.
It was 12 months ago we saw Rowe playing in the forward half for Carlton in the pre-season. Looked like a real candidate to hold down that centre-half forward spot. Probably didn't really turn out that way, but another opportunity this season.
Well, we started centre-half back today and has now moved forward.
Good switch here from the Blues. Tui. Will back himself to go. Got half a shepherd and he's still going. Still going.
He can kick this.
Zach Tui can kick it a long way from outside 50, pops it up to the top of the square. In the end, it was to no one in particular.
It was just over the top of Tom Bell.
Yep.
Well, I think it was his intended target. Zach Tui coming off a fantastic year. That rebounding defender, carries the ball, kicks the ball extremely well for an Irishman. Amazing how well he uses it.
Goldstein want to be careful. He's tried to take on 3 or 4 tacklers. And the ball spills out, and we've got a ball up just in front of the goal square here for Carlton.
Dennis Armfield onto the ground as well for the Blues, and his speed is very important to their lineup.
Atley, the clearing kick, squeezed it out, wants the boundary line, and gets the desired result.
So the dark clouds in the background. That's what's gone over recently, but a fair bit of blue sky over the ground at the moment.
Yeah, good conditions, as we've said, and we might have advantage.
Oh, that's 50.
50.
Mitch Robinson, I think, has drawn the free kick, and he'll get a shot from in the goal square, and it might be on the goal line now, because I know.
He's got a choice, whether he takes the 9.
From the goal square?
He's thinking about it.
Come on, Mitch.
The man on the mark
Take the 9-pointer.
will go all the way for 6 points. So he had the choice. We see the free kick here. Gibson dragged him to the ground.
Yeah, and Gibson, to be fair, thought that Mitch still had possession. But I reckon if you think, oh, I'll take it from outside the 50, you might get a little message from the coach, I would have thought.
Take the 6. Robinson pops it through. And Carlton get out to a 16-point lead once again.
Must admit, though, you would love to see the courage of a player say, no, look, we might take the 9 on this, in this situation.
No option.
No option.
45 metres out, you handball it through.
I reckon we're just line and length. Pre-season's all about structures and drills, and just take the 6 points. Cameron Mooney.
9.
Andrew, we're just looking at Jack Siebel running off, and look, his fitness has always been in question, I guess, through his career. But I think everyone loves the way he goes about his attack on the ball. How much harder work has he had to put in this pre-season to make sure he gets that engine up? And how much have you guys spoken about, obviously, the lack of rotations that are going to happen this year and how fitter you need to be running through that middle?
Yeah, Jack's had a terrific pre-season. I think, you know, what cost him early in his career was he had 2 broken legs in his first 2 years. So that he hasn't had that behind him, but now he's, you know, he's moving really well and his fitness has improved a heap, and hopefully, you know, it goes and pays off this year as he runs around. And, you know, yeah, I think he'll be he's a big boy, and he's going to be great for us.
Well, in the meantime, with the action, we saw Brock McLean pop that through. Wasn't the tidiest of kicks through, and real pressure by Menzel on top of Ferrito, but we just see the floating ball in from Robinson. It was a tough one, but then well cleaned up by Brock McLean, and this is the biggest margin of the day now for Carlton. They're out to a 22-point lead, 4 minutes before half-time, so it's an important period.
It is, and they're dominating centre clearances at the moment, Andrew. You get a couple of goals kicked against you. You have something set in place. Do you go to a defensive triangle sort of style, or do you try and just lock the ball in, create a secondary stoppage? How do you work if you are getting beaten like you are in these situations through the centre bounce?
Yeah, I think, you know, during the season we probably go for, you know, something like a defensive triangle or more of a defensive setup, but I think today the boys will just try and implement a few of their setups and see how they go, and, you know, see what Carlton's throwing at them, and see if the boys can respond.
We just saw Bell win that clearance off the back. So that's another clearance for Carlton. He was scooting around the back. Wood wins that knock. Cullington, Del Santo. High ball into the sunlight. Wood couldn't take it, and Walker happy to see it over. It's Mason Wood. And then the ruck is Cameron Wood. Just bangs it forward. Armfield's there, couldn't get boot to ball. Tackle came from Jacobs, Bell, and he's thrown that.
He's thrown it, but he's having an impact in this game, isn't he, Bell?
Absolutely. He's appealing that he actually got a clinch fist to it, but I think the free kick was before that. The fact that it left your hand, was thrown up in the air.
Petrie the target. Over the back it goes. Rowe and Walker to share it for Carlton. The little toe poke was a good one. Yaron fished it out. Numbers Carlton. Well done, Casey. Stepped through 2 tackles. Tui likewise did 1, and then gets plenty on it. Up forward. Waite was trying to get free, but he couldn't beat 2. And in front was Atley.
Hasn't been a bad contest. I think Joel Tippett in his first game seemed to have gone about that contest fairly well. Certainly Jared Waite, who's been on for most part, hasn't got out of control.
Mason Wood just kicking long, and Petrie was the target once again, and a good kill by Rowe over the boundary line.
You mentioned Tom Bell, you know, off the rookie list. He's been at the club a couple of years now. He can really add depth to that midfield. He's a good clearance player.
Good size as well, isn't he?
Good size,
He's a real thick set.
I mean, there was talk there 2 years ago. A lot of the things he was doing were very similar to Cooter in his halcyon days.
The one-handed pickup.
Yeah, I could see Mick knocking that on the head, the one-handed pickup.
There was a period where Cooter could do absolutely everything, couldn't he?
There was, and there's Zeeble, just got Tom Bell high. So he's in amongst it again.
Crummer needed for North. It spills past Wells, but it falls for Black, who gets it up high. In fact, he got too much hook on it, and it went all the way across. He manages to score behind.
Had a chance to set up here the Kangaroos there. It looks like they're trying to get man-on-man, but Everett's the one that's able to get out. This is the one they need to try and block up. Now you can see great vision from down the ground. In fact, they've all got an opponent now, so it'll make the kick very important. Just can't allow that to happen, though. Need to man the mark better.
And he got a fair bit of distance on the kick towards the boundary line. Good effort by Watson. Armfield. 90 seconds to go in the first half.
Good contest. So the 2 big ruckmen in Wood and Curry go for this one.
We go again.
I think both teams looking forward to getting in the rooms, get out of the sun for 20 minutes and just have a bit of a break after what's been a really good contest in the first half. Plenty of run, good attack at the ball.
Nick Graham, the substitute with his first kick, wobbles it forward. Watson's up there now, he's swapped. Got a chance, threw it on the boot, and he hasn't scored.
Couldn't see who the tackle was from on that occasion. Might have been Jared Waite. And that's pleasing as well with your bigs coming in and creating that forward pressure. And Wright was trying to step through but wasn't able to, and caused the scoring opportunity for Watson.
McMahon to kick long in the direction of Curry. Quick kick by Gibson. Petrie trying to get rid of Rowe. Well, he thought he had Nahas coming through. He does now. And he managed to keep hold of the ball. Gibson back to Hine. Black a long way from home on the corner of the square. Straightens up. And no one really wanted to go for it for North. It was all Carlton. Everett, Robinson.
That was good courage from Everett. Went back with the fly of the ball.
Yep. And they've got some numbers here if they can just maintain possession. McLean needs a shepherd. Really needed a shepherd, didn't get one. Thompson caught. Back to Tippett. Hooks around, hoping for Wood. And again, good defence by Carlton.
Brock McLean.
He just went down there a couple.
Lindsay Thomas comes charging at him. Just ran out of space.
Quick hands, Kerno. It was a beauty. Off to Graham. He's going to kick it to us. So just the 7 seconds remaining. The Blues led by 6 points at quarter time. And they've increased that lead to 21 points. High ball in from Wright. The siren will sound and beat that attempt forward by North, but good quarter by Carlton. They seem to have the answers at the moment. North getting plenty of possession, but turning it over, and Carlton making them pay on the scoreboard, kicking 6 goals in that quarter. So at halftime here at Eureka Stadium, the sun is shining, the crowd is here. It's the NAB Challenge, and it's Carlton leading North by 21 points, and you're watching it all 18 days in a row on Fox Footy.
Rewind, just go through it slowly, jot it down.
Very nice.
So just press rewind. I get it. Yeah, no, I won't go there. All right, let's go. Carlton have had, they've won 2 quarters. They've enjoyed the first half. They lead by 21 points. There's the second half underway, and already there's a quick whistle.
Rebounds.
Ball back. Cameron Wood. Another chance at his career. Zeeble caught by Gibbs. Out the back it goes to McDonald. Couldn't take it. Now Robinson dives in. As he does, advantage will be paid over. It goes to Bell. And Bell slots it through. Perfect opening start for this second half to Carlton. And Bell's been very good, as we've touched on a couple of times.
And yet again, another clearance from a centre bounce, and being able to scrub the ball forward and find some space with Tom Bell over the top there. And we just saw good first possession there from Zeeble to muscle his way out. But this is where the fumble comes. Good attack on the ball from Mitch Robinson, and the ball's out over the top. So
you see there Andreas Everett as well, a good block on his direct opponent, just to allow Bell to steady and nail the shot.
So they're certainly not a clean clearance, but the result is exactly what Carlton were after.
A couple of goals to Bell. They've got 10 now, and the lead a bit of a concern for North at 27 points. Still plenty of time to go, but Carlton had the momentum going into half-time and have started quickly here. Bastanak winning that clearance, but not really getting too far away from Walker to Keisha, who was cruising past. Bell again. Working very hard to that outer side and then hitting it up high. Hansen came in over with a double fist to make sure it goes over the line. Good spoil.
Yeah, fantastic spoil from Hansen. Just really attacked the contest. Bit of a breakout year for Lockie Hansen. There's a lot of questions over his ability to play forward. He's been working really well down back. over the last 12 months.
He does work well as the spare. I think they like to orchestrate that, the Kangaroos, and we should actually ask Andrew if that is part of the planning, because he does mark the ball so well, Andrew.
Yeah, we really like to have him back there. He plays that sort of third tall, come across and spoil. And I think Lockie obviously copped a lot of criticism early in his career, and we always thought he was a back, but we needed to play him forward to give Drew Petrie a bit of a chop out. But now that we've got some guys down forward, goes back to probably where he's more comfortable, and he's playing some great footy.
Petrie did well not to get in the back of Buckley, and Buckley for the second time today just ducked under a Lindsay Thomas tackle. And Carlton just a little bit untidy there, but Yaron's not. With speed, Buckley. He's got a target on his head. Del Santo now, it's all north here. If Petrie can get it, Nahas has gone forward. Petrie senses that, hooks it round the corner. Black trying to get rid of his opponent in Bootsma, does enough to allow Nahas to take the mark, and they should kick the answering goal.
Yeah, well done from Drew Petrie then. He certainly had the awareness that he had a teammate forward of the ball. That's not a good handball.
No, it's a little bit sloppy and probably not required. But the result is the same. It's a goal to Lindsay Thomas. And North get it back to what it was at half-time, 21 points.
And Robbie Nahas obviously trying to endear himself to his teammates by giving the little handball over the top. Nearly butchered it, but they got away with it. So here's Robin Nahas, started 2008 as a rookie with Richmond. 5 goals in his 6th game. I mean, he had games where he was very, very impressive, and his defensive pressure. And you look to 2011, kicking 29 goals. That defensive forward role, crumbing forward role was fantastic, 6th in the BNF. And then got to the stage where he was probably struggling to find a game, only 6 games in 2013. So another chance as a delisted free agent with the Kangaroos.
Kicked the 34 goals in 2012, then the drop away to only 6 games the following year, and then out of the club. Hopefully he's able to turn things around and have a strong few years here at the Kangaroos.
So Carlton on the way back.
And this is where they're probably outplayed. I mean, the clearance has certainly been a major factor, but their ability to use and think their way through these sort of situations.
Big leap, take your pick. Casbolt, Murphy, or Waite.
And as soon as you say that, they just bomb one long.
Yeah, Murphy's copped one in the nose.
Yeah.
Hine, Zeeble, pulled the kick just in time, saw that Petrie had a metre or 2 on Rowe and used him cleverly. Curry just sort of saying, kick it to me, no real movement up forward. So he had to wait for the lead. Buckley might mark that. Oh, he decided to keep it in. Could have taken on the second chance. Ellard with the left boots. Good kick. Oh, to the advantage of Graham. Carlton running hard. They've got some space to run into. Graham decided to go back into the middle. Gibbs. Tui. Running in the right direction. Running straight at goal. Takes on Petrie. Kicks it long. Very long.
Jeez,
kicks it for 9 points. Super goal. Zach Tui.
It was an outstanding super goal. He took off to the left, saw Drew Petrie was chasing him, so took off to the right, dropped big Drewy, and this is the good thing you want from your halfbacks that have got some pace. Take on the chaser, and he's just slotted that straight over the dot from 55 metres. That is a very, very good goal from a man that's been super impressive over the last year or two.
He controlled the kick as well. He has got the breeze pretty much at his back now.
Yeah, he didn't really try to bang it,
so
did he? Yeah, it was a good
just sat it up there. The breeze just did the rest. It was an excellent club, and the junior club there in Ireland.
Get their
the whole of Ireland get the pack.
Yeah,
they'll just share the footies around.
They'll split it up.
You reckon they want the sharing? They'll be wrapped.
Yeah, they will be.
There'll be a public vote to see who gets.
Ty Canelli will be happy. He'll have some new footies. It's maybe a couple of the combines that he runs over there.
No, you touched on it before, Alistair. He kicks the ball beautifully.
Doesn't he? Yeah, amazing.
For an Irishman. And there's a good take. A great mark over the top to Casbolt. And so a quick goal from Tui. Another centre clearance for Carlton. Straight down for Casbolt. This will get the margin out to 6 goals.
This is what you want from your big forwards, to be able to hold your ground.
That's a great grab.
One play, and then he comes back with the fly of the ball. And Jared Wade had a valuable role in that.
He did.
He grounded his direct opponent and allowed big Casbolt to come back.
Casbolt's kick. is straight through. 2 in a row to Carlton.
That's in months of training as well, because normally you don't have the players there. It's normally with a bag or something like that, a coach holding a bag, big bump bag or something like that, that you can do your work up against, so you're not actually hitting the bodies to, another one, not hitting your body to your teammates. But so often you work those patterns where you just use that bit of an arc and get the jump coming back with the flight. So it's great that he's been able to put the practice in that you do on a daily basis into game situation.
A couple of individual moments of brilliance, one from Tui, one from Casbolt, and a nice little quick give from Walker in the middle to release Brock McLean. And we shouldn't underestimate the knock from Cameron Wood. So North have got to start winning some clearances here, especially in the middle. They're down by 6 goals now. Goldstein, Robinson lost it. Bastanak won it. Strong hands. Yaron.
This is where they've been great as well. They're spread from the stoppage, the centre bounce. They're hitting the wings with some speed. They're getting on the outside of the Kangaroos.
And that's courageous mark from Armfield.
Yeah, took that couple of steps back with the fly of the ball.
He goes into the pocket for Walker. And there's a spring in the step for the Carlton side since half-time.
Well, they look supremely fit. Actually, when Jono and I were downstairs at half-time, we noticed the Carlton boys coming off the ground, and they looked in pretty good nick. They weren't absolutely exhausted, as you'd expect in the first trial game, but they look very fit.
Andrew Walker. Kick from just inside the 50. Angle reasonably tight now. It needs to move around from there. It doesn't. It holds its line for a behind. But they're still in control on the scoreboard, Carlton.
Yeah, they're great. Probably a little broken nose, just blocked up there.
Lynchy, just going back to Casbolt, I think we know what Waite's going to give us, or give Carlton. He's going to give them 40 to 50 goals in the season. They really desperately have been looking for that big key forward to help him out and just take some of the load off. Kick you 30, even push up to 40 goals. We know Betts is gone. We see Menzel come in. So the structure of their forward line is going to look a little bit different, but it really comes down to Casbolt and even Rowe when he gets down there to make sure that they're not relying on him the whole year.
Yeah, I agree totally. If you can have Waite as, and even your third big, as running around a roving type role, jumping on top of packs, and have the likes of Casbolt as your structure players.
But he can hit the logos, can't he, Waite? That's the thing with his work rate.
And he's probably best to get moving and turn his opponent around at stage. So that's where Casbolt is extremely important, to be able to take the deep spot that allows other players to push up the ground.
They've worked it pretty well here, North. They've just weighted their kicks to the advantage of their teammates each time. Thomas, the crummer, looking for his second of the quarter. It's the wrong side of the post. But they were patient with their kicking and made the most of the opportunity, but Thomas couldn't quite finish.
Fairly even as far as disposals are concerned in this quarter. In fact, slightly ahead of North Melbourne, but yeah, 3 goals, 1 to 1-1. Inside 50s, 5-2. So each time North have gone in, they've scored. Problem is, basically Carlton have as well, and they've gone in a few more times.
Well, you see Andrew Walker, and you see him going through the centre circle right now, and that's coming off half-back, and that's the work rate that Mick Malthouse will be pleased with as a defender, because you see now marks taken from Armfield. He sees the hole, and there he is working through, and it's a good kick from Armfield again. But that's the type of running that we were actually talking to Andrew Swallow about with the Kangaroos earlier on, that needs to be produced on a moment by moment. It needs to be produced because it's so important these days. You're getting up and back.
Well, a little bit untidy there, North. Scotty Thompson bundled over the line by Bell.
And certainly the awareness from the opposition to know where the run's coming from.
That's right.
The likes of certainly Walker and Yaron can be another one as well off half-back. Know they're actually going to break the lines. Make sure you pick them up on the way through.
Well, Carlton in control on the scoreboard. Most, I guess, people looking at this game and looking at the lists on paper expected North to be winning. As far as their team on paper looks stronger, but I would admire the things that Carlton have got right this afternoon or this evening as Bootsman takes it over the line.
Yeah, and Black not overly impressed with the kick. Bootsman did well. He had the decision to make whether to go to Black or Petrie. He actually decided to go to Petrie, but because the kick wasn't good enough, he had time to close the gap.
There'll be an infringement in the ruck against Warnock. So Goldstein will take the kick. Too far out to score, so He heads into the pocket. Lindsay Thomas, well, he turned around to crumb there, Lindsay Thomas, expecting Petrie to be behind him, and he wasn't. So in the end, it was just 2 Carlton defenders. And in the end, they've made a meal of it getting out too. So a little bit fortunate there, North.
They were, and that's just the coordination. You haven't been playing too much footy. And Lindsay Thomas is adopting his role as a crumbing forward, expecting the big man to be there.
Wastes no time, just goes around the corner, bangs it through. Much needed goal for North, and a classy kick from Jack Zeeble, and it's something we've come to expect.
Classy, hard player. He's been good today. He's had 17 disposals, so second behind Bastanak for the Kangaroos. But that's what you need. You need to stick those tackles. And this is nice execution. Doesn't waste any time, as you said, Matty, in the call. A couple of steps around the body. Easy as you like.
Well, we've seen some good goals today. Menzel, Thomas, Zeeble, Tui. Some good highlights early in the year. Let's remember it's only February 15. It's a long road between here and the last day in September. Cunnington's been relatively quiet. Jacobs couldn't get the hands free. Ellard, caught one high. Been busy in this third term. Told to go. And kicks the advantage of Casbolt, who has 2 goes in it, 2 strong. Had the weight and height advantage on Del Santo. Again,
Good to recognise where you've got a size advantage and kick to the favoured side.
Kicks it up very high. Big leap came from Waite. Expected someone from Carlton to be up there. Great tackle, Menzel. Put Thompson under extreme pressure. And luckily for him, wasn't rewarded with a free kick.
Bryce Gibbs really didn't need to jump on top there, did he? Because Menzel had him wrapped up, and then it maybe put some pressure on the ump to actually call holding the ball. Once Gibbs is on top, there was no chance for Thompson.
Yeah, good call. Makes it harder, doesn't it? Cunnington's clearing kick. Tough one for Wood. McGuinness has him.
Mick Malthouse, you'd think he'd have to be fairly content with what he's seen today. You can see they've tried to execute their game plan. They've used the ball quite well, especially in that centre clearances, as we've spoke about on a regular basis.
See Bryce Gibbs on screen as well. He's laid 3 tackles the last 3 passages for the Blues to lock things in their forward half. But he's also been able to lock down on Daniel Wells. Himself and Harvey have only had the 5 disposals since quarter time, so Gibbs has done a good job. Brent Harvey was subbed out for a bit of that, but their influence in the first quarter was quite strong.
Just turned it over there, Carlton. They had a real good chance, but here's Yaron trying to do it again. Gibbs still working hard. Got it out. Harvey, quick release. Tough one for McMahon. Armfield working for the free kick. Goes through his legs. And we should have another ball up. He plays 49, about the halfway mark now of this third quarter. Del Santo faked the give, then threw it on the right boot out in front of Petrie. Good acceleration to take that mark in front of Rowe.
Well, he needs to be patient moving forward because they're outnumbered 50 metres forward of Drew Petrie here. So just bombing the ball long is not going to work.
Del Santo ran hard to get the next one. Cut back.
And as frustrating as it can be for fans watching this slow ball movement, it's essential. You just got to soak up time. You've got to actually draw up the opposition players to go one-on-one. Then that allows you to go longer. So you'll be looking for a lateral kick. Gets the opportunity, but still nothing presenting itself. Still, he has a spare player on the far side, but at the moment he's still 70 metres away, so a little bit far.
Yeah.
So now you could probably go to the far side.
Use the Gary Larson approach. There's Tippett.
Gary
Stay
Larson,
with me on that.
Queensland State of Origin prop.
Yeah, that was his nickname, the far side.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, but it's a cartoon. Ball over the back. Advantage paid. And advantage not taken as far as kicking a goal, just the behind.
But the patience and the build-up there, I think, would please Brad Scott on that occasion. Just didn't blaze away, just took their time, chipped it around. When something opened up, went inside 50. Didn't get the result they desired, but I think off half-back was much better delivery.
Watson, high ball, gives Bastanek a real good look at it over the top of Murphy. In the end, it carries to the boundary line. 5-goal margin.
Brock McLean coming to this contest without an opponent.
He went to pick up Wells, trying to leave Graham free. He might head in that direction, but there is Graham.
Del Santo, 7 disposals for the quarter, leads all comers on the ground, followed by Jack Zeeble.
Free kick will go to Bastanak. Head down over the footy, and Casey came in high on top of him. Waited for a lead. He's got Mason Wood into the pocket. He's got to beat a couple. Will it fall for Wells? Watson spins out of trouble. Handball's out.
It's been good today, Watson. His first half was very good. His second quarter, he was able to really take some good defensive grabs and set them up going forward.
Wells bursting through, hoping to get boot to ball. Not just yet. It's still alive for North. Casey to Watson. Tumbles it out. Menzel almost. Curry. Harvey to Del Santo. In turn, they share it. Thompson gets it from Hansen, then straightens up onto the chest of Zeeble, who wheels around and lays it into the pocket. Petrie, even if he got it, it was a tough kick. Bootsman did enough to push it over the line.
Yeah, they're just blocking up the corridor, Carlton, at the moment, and forcing the leads from the North Melbourne forwards wide. So, as you said, even if he takes the mark there, it had to be a very good pass, but it was going to be a tough shot at goal.
Warnock down in front. Again, Wells, first to it. Scoops it out by hand. Taken by McGuinness. Good clearing kick. Did well there under some pressure. Casbolt with courage. The back, Thompson to Hansen. Good work, Menzel. Stripped him of the ball.
Done some nice things, Menzel.
Yeah, he doesn't give up on the contest, does he? But they're going backwards here, Carlton. And Lindsay Thomas is doing a good job. Scotty Thompson is there. Bootsma couldn't take it. Thomas again. Good defensive work from both teams. It's hard to get an easy ball at the moment.
They're certainly sticking their tackles. I mean, the tackle count is pretty even, actually. +1 to North Melbourne, but just something that stood out today. I think Carlton sticking their tackles, not being broken.
Throw in again, Warnock. Petrie, quick hands towards Harvey. Zeeble, straight at it. Can't get free. Harvey again. North persist. McKenzie's a good kick. But that one's off the side. It comes back. It comes back a fair way. It almost came back all the way. Big hook on it. But North just pressing here, sensing that they need to put a dent in this lead before three-quarter time. Walker for the Blues. Yaron. Inboard to Tui. Zeeble committed. Enables Tui to turn and play on and switch it to Graham.
They go long.
McLean used his body really well there. Got rid of McKenzie. Has enough time now to pick it up. Assess, straighten up, balance. Should have done better with that, Brock McLean, because he did everything right except execute the kick. He's kicked it out on the full.
Menzel and Wood were in the corridor. He just had to change his vision and looked a bit more central than he would have been able to see a couple of his teammates. It was a tired kick, though. He's done a power of work again in this quarter.
He was just down here a second ago, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So North on the way out. McMahon. He's got some time here. No one coming towards him just yet. Still going, Scotty McMahon. Tried to draw the man. Decides to kick. Oh! Commitment from both players. McGuinness and Petrie. Petrie up for a bit of a chat. Umpiring quickly. Nahas trying to have something to say as well to McGuinness.
Tommy, walk away.
Could see it unfolding, couldn't we?
That doesn't tickle.
Here it is, big contest. Committed Drew Petrie.
Yeah. McGuinness just turned his back. Wasn't happy, Big Drew.
No, and he'd love to finish this off. He's got a couple. This for his third. More importantly, to get his team a bit closer. He's got it. 3 to Petrie, and all of a sudden, Carlton got out above 6 goals on the lead. Now it's back to 23 points, and North with a bit of momentum before three-quarter time. Good commitment.
There's the hit again, but it was the work from McMahon, who was just allowed to run free right across centre wing, take 4 bounces of the ball. No one closed him up. All the Carlton defenders were just going back with their men. No pressure from behind, and he was able to pull the trigger on a decent kick going inside forward 50.
And it's been good work rate from North Melbourne. They've been able to hold the ball in their forward 50 for more of this last 5 minutes than certainly in the first 10 minutes of the quarter, where they were being outplayed. But working hard, a bit more patient, and just not allowing the rebound off half-back from Carlton.
Back in the middle. Wood up against Curry. Cunnington can't get free. Had one arm with the ball, but couldn't get the other one.
Andrew, we're just talking about these last 5 minutes, how you're starting to really get on top. And you said you were pretty confident that the boys could run over the top. Well, not over the top, but really run the game out pretty well with the fitness that you've had over the pre-season.
Yeah, they, the boys are starting to look a bit better, a bit more composure, I reckon, going forward. So if they can, get another couple here, who knows how we go in the last quarter.
Hansen caught underneath it, and Ellard, the unlikely man to come out and take that mark. The high ball from Robinson wasn't a good kick.
No, it was off the side of the boot, and I don't think Ellard was the intended target. And Lockie Hansen just not happy with himself there. But yeah, a bit blustery out there. And early matches, early matches, it takes a bit to read the ball in the air, and that'll come. A few more practice matches in the lead up to round 1.
So Ellard for the quick answer for Carlton. He's within range. Just needs it to hold its line. It does. And he's got a goal. And they get some breathing space once again. And we always see here at Ballarat, that seems to be the goal-scoring end.
Well, it is, and down at half-time, the wind had certainly picked up, pushing towards that end of the ground, and you can see the ball just travel on here with Hansen just in the end getting underneath it, and going over his head to Ellard, who's trailed in. I don't think he even expected that one to pop over the top. But it was out of the centre bounce again, and that's where Carlton have certainly dominated today's game.
Just picked up a little bit the breeze, left of screen.
I think it's cooled the conditions down with a bit of cloud cover as well, which at the start of the game certainly very humid and still conditions. Very important here in this stoppage, even just not allowed the uncontested clearance from Carlton, which we've seen too much of. And I think in this quarter in particular, North Melbourne is starting to stem the tide.
Pass from Wells is a beautiful kick to the lead of Black.
Look at that wind, he's not going to kick that far.
He's just given a bit of a look on a pass intended for Jacobs. And Carlton to clear through Bootsma. And he lets the wind do a bit of work for him.
Oh, one off the bench.
Go.
Superb interchange by the Blues. Off the left boot. Now the wind's going to push it towards the post. An anti-climax for us and for Carlton fans.
Yeah, I don't think we'd probably have the vision of that. How long the player from Carlton had been off the ground before Menzel's gone on, because what's happened there,
whether he's held to...
there's no doubt he's held off the ground, and he's waited for the transition from their deep defence to come along, and then he's gone on to the ground.
See what happened with Jared Waite coming over, whether he's going to take a clean mark.
Yaron forced to go back, but he's got a couple of options. One of them is Bootsma. He's told to play on, he's come off his line. He's outside 50. It's a mongrel punt forward. It's a tough one to mark. Over the back it goes. McDonald by hand. North try to run it out. Harvey to Gibson. And a long ball out wide, hoping for and finding Wood. Good transition. Now he has to wait for some cavalry to arrive. Gibson kept going. He's got Wells in the middle. Decides to keep going down the line.
Harvey started that in the back pocket with a handball.
Well, Harvey and Gibson have had it twice each in that transition. And that kick is a good one, and it should have been marked by Jacobs.
That's a great leadership from someone like Harvey. Let's have a look at this interchange here. Now, Menzel's... it wasn't a big gap. It was probably a little harsh, but it was just perfect timing.
It was timing.
Absolutely perfect timing.
What you didn't see is that Walker really slowed down walking.
That's what it was.
Murphy got it from Gibbs. And the spoil comes from Tippett. Just over 2 minutes remaining. And Walker's gone down in the rooms. So let's hope
slight limp.
Nothing serious and just precaution.
Having a spell, I would have thought.
Yep.
He's been very impressive. 13 disposals, 6 marks.
I think North would love to get just one more before three-quarter time to get it back to around that manageable 4-goal margin.
Yeah, very manageable with the breeze. Probably a 2 to 3 goal breeze they're going to have in the last term.
Cunnington, he did everything right, but Robinson wrapped him up. Bell, he just went straight past everyone, attacked the footy, got it, kicked it long, but there's no one home for Carlton, and now McMahon on the way out. Bastanak, forced to use Hansen, missed his target, now he's under a bit of pressure. Menzel with him, back to Bastanak, second chance to Wood. Off goes Wells. Seen him do that many times over his career. Harvey let it go. Jacobs just needs to be a bit cleaner. I know he hasn't played a lot of footy in his career just yet, just the 33 games. Nahas trying to crumb, couldn't take it. Murphy back. And they've got time here, Carlton. Everett just playing with Del Santo. Wood, probably not the best man in this situation to have it. Back to Everett, decides to kick long now, relieves some pressure. Thompson made good position, just bodied Casbolt out.
Yeah, great use of the body. Just when the ball was probably 5 metres away, just gave him a little nudge.
Well, they've got 40 seconds to do something about it, North. But Carlton slowing them down.
I think they could only concede a goal here with a turnover. They'll struggle to get the ball deep enough to generate a shot at goal in 30 seconds.
And it's going to be hard, isn't it? Because there's a lot of Carlton players back in the defensive 50. Luke McDonald.
Big left foot.
Wheels around and pops it up, hoping for a big mark. Plenty of players there. Wood with a spoil. Jacobs read it well. That was cleaner. Still a chance, North. Handball out wide. Del Santo, he's right on the 50. Gets plenty on it and sees Harvey. Magnificent kick from Del Santo. Got to give him some benefit of the doubt that that was the spot to kick it. And guess who?
Yep. 5 seconds up the sleeve. Very nicely done. I was going to chat before about Brent Harvey's leadership. It's about his work rate. He just shows all these young players how to get into the positions and how to work.
Well, it's a timely spot to be in, Harvey. It's a timely goal to kick right on three-quarter time because it puts North Melbourne within that 4-goal range. They get the margin to 23 points and they had plenty of the football late in that third quarter. And so it will remain whether North Melbourne have that fitness that Andrew Swallows talked about, whether they can run home with this breeze in the last quarter. But it's Carlton still leading at three-quarter time at Eureka Stadium.
Yeah, they've moved the ball. Their work around this part of the ground we'll see here with this centre bounce. That's been the highlight for me today, the way they've been able to get some good, clear possession out of this part of the ground and get it to a dangerous spot where they've got some bigs who at least compete. If they don't mark it, the ball goes and drops in a dangerous position.
How will the centre clearances transpire in this quarter? Will Carlton keep on top there, or the little dribble out from Murphy, and Bell's there first. Went without it, though. Been impressed with what we've seen so far from Bell today, though. Started well.
Andrew Swallow mentioned one of those players in that bracket, 55 to 100 games, and Ryan Bastanak, 79 games of league footy, and he had 13 disposals in that third term, 26 for the game, leads all comers on the ground. Impressive display.
Your thoughts on Nick Del Santo as well, Lynch, in his first game with the Kangaroos?
Well, I think it's been very impressive.
Yeah.
They've used him in basically all segments of the ground, back, cross half back in the midfield, and even late in that quarter pushing forward. So I think very encouraging signs for North Melbourne supporters, and great for Nick to actually get a bit of the ball in the first quarter at the new club.
Bell got it, but he got it from a very clever handball from Kerner. So Bell has been involved in 4 things already in this quarter.
He's had an excellent game, Bell. You saw Tippett on screen there. His opponent has been Jared Waite for most of the day. Started the game well. He's been very solid as well for the Kangaroos.
Hard to get free here. Plenty of players around the ball. It does come out, however. Murphy and Cunnington. Well done, Cunnington. Very good in close. There's no one up forward if they can get it up there, but Yaron doesn't let Nahas go. And Petrie steams off into the forward line for North.
Yaron's going to be one to watch over the course of the pre-season going into the early rounds. We know at his best he's one of the most dynamic runners off halfback. We just didn't see that last year. He played a few different roles, but didn't look like he had the confidence to run and bounce and hit targets like we've seen in past seasons.
Lucas wrapped up by Zeeble. Another strong tackle from him. Bastanak wins the clearance. Watson appealing for the free, falls for Buckley, and he's driven into the ground by Black.
Big tackle from Black. I think his eyes lit up there and saw that a smaller opponent had his feet off the ground and just laid a nice tackle.
Quick kick, Yaron. Well read, front and square by Mitch Robinson. And Tippett did okay there, didn't he? Got away from Jared Waite. His kick over the top.
He's defended in the right position, so get in the right side of his opponents.
Cunnington shows the ball a little bit there to Del Santo. Measures the pass. Thomas, now he's within range. He's going to head to the top of the square. Disciplined kick. 2-on-1. It'll be a Carlton free kick or a mark. He's decided to pay the mark to Everett. Might have been a free kick to Yaron as well, but they stand tall here, Carlton. Buckley to McGuinness. Long kick, headed for the Waite direction. Thompson floats across, ball not carrying, so he's in the right spot. He chips it over the top. It's not a good kick. Pressure for Ferrito. And Robinson dealt with. Tap forward by Tippett. Jacobs, Ferrito, still going. And the palm off. And back now to Tippett. Thompson, well, that's where we started with. And now he might even hit Petrie. Petrie just coming at too much pace there. It might fall for him again. Shoulders, arms, tries to get it out the back to Jacobs. Handball to himself. Kick out. A little pressure coming here. Ferrito solid, but Cripps will take that now. He started as the sub in the second half, young Patrick Cripps. So he's out there now.
Ferrito got a little bit of the ball, but just the right ear was in the road as well.
Exactly.
Here's Allard.
Back out there.
Yep. Oh, just gets around. Bastanak quite easily and then looks in the Waite direction. Hine drops into the hole. Well sharked by Nahas. Hine. Nahas. He's not going anywhere. Armfield had him. Thompson. Handball over the top to no one in particular except Warnock, who's the biggest man on the ground. Clearing kick away. And it'll find the boundary line. I guess a lot of people turned up today wanting to see Nick Del Santo, but also perhaps wanting to see Dale Thomas. He's not here, but we asked Mick Malthouse about him before the game.
I walked out in the training track thinking he's going to be out here with me, and I knew he wasn't too well, but I didn't know how severe the chest infection was. And then they said, "Oh, look, it's no use in going out there." And even then, we said, "Oh, he'll be playing," and he said he'll be playing. And then it became pretty obvious that it would be a really futile effort to do so. And in fact, it'd take him backwards. So we just said, "No, just take the pressure right off yourself. You're not playing." So, but right up until, as I say, our team meeting, he was playing.
Yeah, it's disappointing that we couldn't get to see Daisy Thomas, but it is a long year, and as I touched on before, it's only February 15.
Yeah, it's a long year, and it's a smart move. I mean, you come in well and truly underdone. There's going to be an enormous amount of focus, as there has been on Nick Del Santo. If you're pretty underdone, the scrutiny's going to come. So give him a week or two just to get over his illness, and I'm sure he'll be back and firing in the next couple of weeks.
But as a new recruit as well, you want to get involved early because there's so much to learn about your new teammates. Yes, in a training environment, but it's a lot different out with the pressure of a game, which way they're running, how they're kicking the ball. And that was an excellent kick from Jacobs on that occasion.
That was Zeeble who just laid it out off beautifully. And he knew straight away as soon as he got it, play on quickly, I'll get the lead, I'll honour it. Now that's good communication between one of your prime movers in the middle and your key forward. Again,
a great sign that these two guys have played plenty of football together. We've seen that on a number of occasions with Drew Petrie's leading.
Big Drewy for 4. And it just needs to hold its line, and it does, and they inch closer. Petrie's got 4. At one stage, the margin was 37 points. We've now got it back to 17, and there's plenty of time for North to come back. And, well, do they have the fitness? Their skipper says they do.
Yeah, well within range with that slight wind advantage of probably 2 or 3 goals, but that's strong hands. We saw his lead a couple of minutes ago. He probably actually ran too hard at the previous lead and didn't quite grab it, but on that occasion it was one grabber and near burst the footy. He grabbed it that well, so a good grab, nice conversion.
Andrew, have you had intra-clubs, those sort of things, or is this the first competitive hit out for the lads today?
The boys have been, I suppose, doing a couple of quarters during training, but not really an intra-club. So, you know, they've had a bit of match fitness under, but yeah, I'm sure they'll be pretty tired by the end of the day.
Sun pokes through again for the second time today. In good conditions, a little bit warm, but the ground in perfect nick. Carlton go forward with another centre clearance. Punch clear there by Jacobs. Chance, well, he went past it there. The handball was intended for McMillan.
Another player down in the middle of the ground. About 20 metres off the ball.
Robin Nahas
down. In the meantime, it's a chance for an answering goal for Carlton. It's been good.
Here's Robin Nahas, just top right. Not a lot in. I think actually he's got probably a bit of a knee on the quad. Gone
Gibbs
down.
Hillard. Kicks the goal. Answering goal for Carlton right at the right time.
There are 2 goals now, 11 disposals, and nice bit of work. Wasn't a clean exit, but it was an exit from the centre clearance and just set up very nicely. Nicely weighted pass. Didn't just blaze away to the top of the square, but just chipped that one 30 metres, hit up very nicely.
Daniel Wells and Hansen are the subs at the moment for the Kangaroos. So we'll see how Robin Nahas goes, whether or not they decide to play any further, if he'll play any further part in this game.
So back in the middle and not going far there. Just a little breathing space once again for the Blues. Allowed again. Chance for Carlton. Off the ground, doesn't really go anywhere. Coming through Mitch Robinson. And we come to expect that from him. Bootsma on the left. And there's a free kick, it's a whistle.
Yeah, for a chop of the arm.
Chop of the arms.
And Marn was just slightly out of position. He felt the only option he had was to try to, with his left arm, reach around and chop the arm of Big Casbolt here. Just didn't quite get the ball and dragged it down, so it's more the drag of the arm. It was a day, Matty. That was an absolute skill.
Yeah, it was part of the skill of being in defence. Chop the arms, but kick. It's pretty good. Just to the left-hand side of the post. So, just the behind.
And now they need to set up here. Now they've got a really good zone in place. Carlton, this is where North Melbourne, just got to really be patient again. Get back off the mark quickly, have a look. Pull the trigger if you can. If not, stop and wait for something to open up. So forward of the ball, you need players running into space, but out of space also to create space behind.
Over the top. Right. And it's been really good.
Yeah, the handball over the top from right. That's where it needed to just get the ball long, get it going forward. His forward started to make some movements towards the boundary line, get it 50, 60 metres down the ground, contest out of play, and have the stoppage down there, not where it is currently at the moment on centre wing.
Good strong contest from Cameron Wood as well there.
He's in again, but clearing kick from Lucas. And again, North this time through the middle.
Through McDonald. McDonald's been impressive across halfback. Obviously, a lot of talk last year about whether he'd get picked up under the father-son rule. Was always going to actually in 12 months, but didn't have a great under-18 carnival until probably late in the year, but a very good player off halfback.
Had an excellent final series for Werribee last year. And I think everyone stood back then and thought, right decision.
Here's a chance for Ferrito. Solid tackle. North trying to work it round the boundary line. Got a chance. McMahon in the middle, but no. Cut off by the Blues. Just standing firm here at the moment. Through the middle of the ground they go. Mitch Robinson. High ball up. Not going far though. Sam Wright taking the mark and the switch here for North. Again
to McDonald. He's got plenty of handball receives. He's really good on his spread. Very nearly a good kick, just couldn't quite get there.
Bootsma to McLean. Lucas lays it out in front. No infringement there. Wade hoping for the free kick, not to be.
Just enough from Tippett to just ease weight under the ball.
So Carlton holding firm here at the moment. Here's Robinson around the corner, gets plenty on it. Can't quite get it all the way, and Tippett just a hand that under goes over the line.
And this is where they've struggled, in this position, which is a credit to Carlton the way they've set up.
Some pressure here. Bootsma underneath all of that is Wood. And we've got a boundary throw in. So we're just over halfway in this final quarter. It looked as though North were coming, but Carlton just steadied here.
Extra numbers around the contest of the Blues. Didn't help.
Spoil over the top from McInnes. Well done. Keisha got it to Gibbs and turned to Everett, who's kicked 3 in his first game for the Blues. Again, McInnes. High ball up. Had to go back, and he did. Luke McDonald.
Just looks like he's a ready-made AFL player. Again, got to qualify that by saying it's NAB Challenge round 1, but he looks like he's fitted in beautifully across halfback.
Tippett. Onto the chest of Ferrito. Chance here for North. Attlee running hard and running fast. Outside 50, decides to lay it off, and he does it well. Onto the chest of his teammate Ryan Bastanak.
Attlee's had an excellent summer and showed there. Just his speed is so important for the Kangaroos, but a smart kick as well, Lynchy, because last quarter, first hit out, real hit out that Andrew Swallow was telling us about earlier on, and then to use the ball short, just a control kick rather than try and bomb long with fatigued legs.
Ryan Bastanak, plenty of the ball, as Alistair mentioned earlier. He just pushed that a little bit. Does it hold its line? It does, so they get back to a 19-point margin within 3 goals.
He's another one of the North Melbourne youngsters, as we said, developing into quite a player. And this is what you want to see from Attlee. You want to see this man, people with pace, back yourself, take the bounces, take them on. You'll get caught every now and then, but just take on the tacklers and just break the game open, break the lines, and that was fantastic play, which led to a Bastanak goal.
He's had the 12 disposals today, Attlee, but if they're looking for him to push through the midfield more often, those numbers just need to go up a little bit, because you see what the result is. The result is quality. If he can get that up around, you know, the 18s to 22, something in that sort of range, when a lot of it is forward of centre, then the result is going to be very positive for the Kangas.
Back in the middle, now we'll have a recall bounce. It favoured.
Or could you give someone like Attlee a KPI of running bounces? just say, take the game on. Just want to see you actually carry the ball. When you get it, we'll put blocks on, go.
Definitely.
Here they go again. Bastanak just kicked the goal. Kicks this very long. Now there's a whistle. It's against Watson. It's going to be Daniel Curry to take the kick.
Well, we saw this in the first quarter to a really good contested grab. He missed the kick, but this is really encouraging signs. Good, strong body, push back in the contest, and he's got a massive reach. Really hard for Watson to spoil there. 24th
birthday today. Time for a present. Much better kick this time, and all of a sudden 2 goals in a minute to the Kangaroos, and they are back to within 13 points. And remember, that's only 2 goals in this format, so 7.5 minutes remaining. They're pushing.
Just starting to get control again, slightly going weighted disposals in favour of North Melbourne. Good to see. Again, Goldstein gets a hand on the ball. We haven't seen too much of the quality clearances like that, where you've got space, you see forward of the contest is open, you can carry the ball out. And again, it was Bastanak who was involved, drove the ball long, and if you've got a big target like that, get it to him quick where he can take the grab. If he doesn't take the grab, you've got plenty of crumbing forwards to get to his feet. So 2 very quick ones here from North, and applying the pressure, still with plenty of time. Big jump there by Warnock to get it down. Cripps in there, ball comes out towards Mitch Robinson, and he gets the clearance away. Not that far, though. Oh, great effort, great strength from Bell. He's been very good. Menzel back to Robinson, having a big last quarter. Measures the pass on the outside of the boot, but reading it perfectly. On top of Levi Casbolt was Scotty Thompson. A little glare from Levi Casbolt, just saying, get the ball down a little bit, out in front. Yep. Nahas. A little chip over the top to Bastanak. Trying to work it, but he's off his line, so he's called to play on. Murphy does pretty well on the mark. Now to Wood. Bastanak's running the game out well. Yeah. Just really, in this second half, just really opened up. Kick goes over the back, can be dangerous in this situation because you've got someone like Lindsay Thomas to apply the pressure, run onto the ball, and then chip it inside 50 to Black. North Melbourne continue to come. We've had a couple of close games already in this NAB challenge. The first one, Geelong Collingwood, 2 points. There was 2 points the difference until the last minute or so last night, with Melbourne getting away to a 14-point win, and we're headed in that direction again here. Black will make the distance. He'll kick from 50. He's kicking with the breeze, just needs to hit it straight. The goal umpire doesn't move. 3 in a row to the Kangaroos. All of a sudden, it's a 7-point game. And they've come from marks inside 50 as well. They kicked the 4 goals. We know Petrie on the lead, the Curry at the top of the goal square, and now Black, and their ability to convert. So inside 50s are equal at 7 apiece for the quarter, but North Melbourne have kicked 4 straight, and Carlton 1 goal, 2. So their ability, their efficiency with the ball in hand has been much better in this last term. So, Andrew, and this comes down now to some of the processes maybe that you put in play over the summer. Game's tightened up again just to control the ball. There's still just over, well over 5 minutes to go in this game. Yeah, I suppose the boys have to score as well to get back in front. So you might see a couple of things from them to try and get another goal or 2. Carlton continue to do well at the clearances and trying to get the centre clearances in particular. This time, in case you're not getting far, but they can reload. Robinson's had 9 disposals in this last quarter, and Jack Zeebel's had 7. So a couple of their prime movers for each team in the middle. Del Santo walks through some traffic, releases out wide. Gibson chips over the top, hoping for Bastanak. A little bit cute, but it comes off. Del Santo kept going, great hands, ends up with Harvey. One way, then the other, tumbles it forward, anti-climax almost. McGuinness did well. They're not out of trouble yet, though, Carlton. Good tackle. Lindsay Thomas going nowhere. And underneath all that, the crowd's well and truly into it now, and just lifted the energy around the stadium. There you go, Lindsay Thomas. That was Bryce Gibbs. Took on the tackle again. Carlton sticking their tackles. McLean trying to find some ground. It could be out of bounds on the full off of Taylor Hine, it is.
So some good fortune there for the Blues. Still 5 minutes of football remaining. Plenty of time for both teams to score a couple of goals, but certainly the pressure being applied by North here. Margin was 37 points at one stage.
Very good effort, and they continue to dominate disposals.
And had some numbers there again as Jamie McMillan. He's going to set it up high. Petrie's going to be 4th or 5th in line. Ball comes down, hard for Harvey to get through there. Here's Nahas. That's what he's into the team for, to sort of shark and create things out of nothing when it's close and tough like that.
Scotty Thompson's just left the ground. He appeared to be cramping the calf. So it might be the last we'll see of him.
Ball comes out. Carlton with some numbers. Lucas hooks around the corner. Casbolt had the height there and got over the top of McMahon. Just chips it into the hole. He wanted Murphy to run into that hole. And in the end, it's probably a win for North.
Yeah, he did. He sort of just kicked the ball there before Murph actually moved to that space, but sort of almost instructed him to get there. Didn't quite. Playing the extra man defence, North Melbourne, so got to think their way through this, Carlton, when moving forward.
Andrew, we talked about a couple of big inclusions on field during the year, but what about off field? We have Jeff Walsh coming back, lead shooter, and Gavin Brown obviously coming in, and the big red, Cam Ling.
Yeah, no, it's exciting having a few of those guys come on board and have Walshy back after a few years away. I suppose it's a vote of confidence where the club's going and the direction of the playing group. So really excited to have them on. Beautiful
measured pass, releases McMahon, who releases Harvey. And Harvey kicks the goal. 4 in a row to North. Wonderful transition, and they get within 1 point now. 94 plays 93. They've come from nowhere very quickly.
They have. There's plenty of time here.
This is the kick here, isn't it? The transition kick across the ground of McMahon Lynching.
This is the one they weren't executing in the first half well enough. They were getting enough of the ball. But
is that 9?
No, it was only a yard away. Otherwise, it was 9. Otherwise, they're in front, very close to the line.
But running from behind, again, we've seen this from Brent Harvey all game. His ability to be involved deep defence and then push up through the ground is a credit to him in his about 40th year of footy.
So the heat really on now, and this good crowd here at Eureka Stadium enjoying a fine finish, a tight finish. Zeeble off the ground, big clearance, kicked that 55 metres off the ground and gets the desired result, which is a stoppage. Been good in the last quarter, Zeeble.
Here it is here. Oh, right on the paint.
Yeah.
Not much in that at all, was there?
No.
Difference between being behind and in front. If they can kick another goal, it won't make a difference. To the square it goes. Petrie's unbalanced. Almost took the mark. The kick could be... Well, that's a great touch finder, that kick. In fact, it's hit the line and stayed in. Not for long. And we have a boundary throw in, and we have just under 3 minutes remaining. And now just some... It's early in the year, but some practice of some heat, of some pressure.
And we've seen plenty of examples through the NAB Challenge so far. This is another very good game between two teams that have got a good blend of experienced players and some young stars coming through.
Ball smothered, but Harvey's going to go again. Falls over to McMillan, threw it on the boot towards the square, sliding in, couldn't take the mark. Here's a chance for Lindsay Thomas. One way, then the other, left, right, off the boot, tumbles it to the square. Not to be. Carlton to clear. Can they do it now and maintain possession? Out wide, they've got a man, and that's Andre Everett in his first game for the Blues.
And they've got numbers out there.
Numbers here, Ellard. Still going, waiting for an option up forward. Looks in board, misses his target, but well sharked by Cripps in his first game. Still going, the Blues. Ellard kept running, looked across the ground, spotted a man, and it's big, Cameron Wood.
And that was Ellard's second involvement. He was involved in the wing, got the ball forward, got involved again, got the handball received from Tom Bell. And again, when you're really tired late in the game, having the composure and the awareness to look up, find out where your teammates are, and put one on his chest.
Just milking some clock here as well. Big Cam Wood. Margin is just to behind. This to make it 7 and force North Melbourne into a 9-point play. Never in doubt, the umpire didn't move, and in his first game in a Blues jumper, he nails a clutch goal.
A great build-up, and it was one of those coast-to-coast goals that we have seen a couple of times. And there's Lindsay Thomas. Round 1, round 2.
There, just
got the tackle. Again, great tackling, and that was from young Dylan Buckley. And that's fantastic. Good composure here from Ellard.
We might just thank the skipper of North Melbourne. David, thank you very much for helping us out on the boundary. We really have appreciated, Andrew, I should say, really have appreciated your time.
No worries, guys. Not the first person that's called me.
Jeez, he's already getting pushed aside by the little brother.
Very good.
Good luck for the season, mate. We hope to see you out there very, very soon.
Thanks, guys.
I was going to ask him about his brother too, because I just liked some of the things I saw towards the end of the season. But here we are with 73 seconds to go. North need a 9-point goal to win it, and Carlton just need to maintain possession.
Well, North have got the breeze.
Free kick,
kickable.
Carlton.
Makes it tough here.
Yeah. All they need to do is maintain possession here. Robinson's been very good in the last quarter. Bell's had a good day. He may do something here to just tap it off. Oh, half a fumble. Yeah, it came from Cripps, but in the end they've managed to push it out. 100 plays 93, 47 seconds to go. To the boundary again. Cunnington kept it in, and kept it in with a clever kick. Some valuable meterage. 36 seconds to go.
Stoppage here.
Still plenty of time.
There is.
Plenty of breeze.
Out the back of the stoppage, through the corridor, 9 points win.
Yeah, they got their #1 ruckman as well, Goldstein, up against Cameron Wood.
McDonald's in the corridor too, by himself.
There is a man out there. Del Santo,
go.
the gun recruit for the golden moment. Handball's in board. Lindsay Thomas spins. Well, 6 points won't be enough if they get the mark. They haven't got it yet. They've got to go backwards.
That's a big hit.
Good defence by Carlton. Solid hit. And is he okay? He's getting up. It's Watson.
Yeah, big hit late in the game. You don't want to see that. That's good, courageous spoil and a fair hit.
Time counting down now, and I know it is the NAB Challenge. It is February 15. It is round 1, but again, we've seen a very, very competitive match. And when it gets close, competitive juices just flow. Players just want to win.
Brad Scott on the boundary line.
Yep. Past Thomas it goes. Watson caught. Siren sounds. The third of our 4th NAB Challenge games have finished in a very entertaining last quarter. Regardless of the result, it's been a terrific game here at Eureka Stadium. Carlton have their first win of the year, and they've done it in good fashion by 7 points, and we've certainly enjoyed it.
We certainly have. I thought it was a really good contest. A lot to like about Carlton. They had some of their stars out. There's obviously Brad Scott there. He looked to be fairly pleased and relaxed with the result as well. I think there's some really good signs. That man there, Nick Del Santo, in his first game was very good. Cameron Wood, I think he's showed enough to suggest he's going to be a bit of a player this year with the Blues as well. But an exciting contest up here in Ballarat in front of a really good local crowd.
It was. Even Watson early, I thought, for the Blues, held up in the defence. Dylan Buckley was good from the outset.
Yep.
Was competitive in around the footy. Tom Bell was probably the standout player on the ground. Andreas Everett had an impact in his first game as well for the Blues.
Speaking of Andreas Everett,